Just before I start my story, I just quickly want to introduce our sponsors. I'm not going to tell you much about them because you need to meet them. That's the intention of today. So, Justin, you do need to stand. Sorry. So, Justin's Involved Digital. Thank you very much. They do websites, social media. You can sit, thanks. And I also want to say that I have brought each partner on very strategic and intentionally, not because he's my husband, but and my personal opinion is majority of recruitment websites really are shocking. They're in the 1700s, and I have no idea why we're not going with the ages. So you now have somebody to contact to get your website up to date. It does not cost 80,000 Rand. I think that's the hesitation with people, is that you think it's hugely expensive. It doesn't have to be. But I would love to see our recruitment industry just step into the new age digitally. Then PNet, the lovely ladies at the back, they've supported Recruiters Unite from the start. They have over 2 million candidates on their database. And we all... Yeah. Your website's not updated, all right? There we go. See, connections are being made. Fabulous. And as recruiters, I don't have to tell you how important a database is with your speed and moving. So please connect with the ladies. Please see what PNet can do for you. Yes, I'm not going to give you any more stats about them. And then Francois, very quiet. Thank you, Francois. Francois is from MIE. No recruiter should be sending out candidates without them being vetted and screened. MIE offer this service for us. He will tell you more about their process and costing, etc., when you speak to him afterwards. The guys, Christo. Yeah, hired just now. I'm super excited about this business. So they are EOR. I was like, it is EOR, right? Employer of records. I had no idea what that is. Basically, we're going to bring business to South Africa. Companies don't have to register business. They don't have to deal with SARS. They will do everything for us. What's exciting for me is that you can use them as a white label service. So you can say your agency now offers this, and then you use them in the background. I think it's genius. I'm going to do it. I love it. And I'm not joking. I really am. So connect with the guys. They will share more. It's obviously got a lot more detail into it. Then lastly, the lovely gentleman from Placement Partner. Would you like to stand? Thank you so much. So Placement Partner are South Africa's ATS, essentially. What I love about them is they only specialize, and correct me if I'm wrong, only in South Africa. So I know when you look at international software, there's tons of other buttons and requirements that aren't applicable to us. It takes up space and can be quite confusing. I love that they work for us. And also, which I thought was quite impressive, is their month-to-month. And I think that's rather brave, and that's also saying a lot about your service and your software to the industry. So please connect with the guys. I'm actually doing my demo next week, which I'm really thrilled about. And just to round up for our sponsors, we all are proudly South African, which I'm really happy about, which we're going to keep. We are only going to sponsor South Africans. This is our market and our industry. And yeah, I hope that I can keep you all till the end of the year. So thanks very much for sponsoring. And now we get to our story. Okay, so tons of notes here. So to say I'm nervous is a bit of an understatement, although I'm not as nervous as what I thought I would be. But I do this. I have an idea. I action things like this. And then when it comes to the time, I'm like, fuck. What have I done? Kind of like my first company that I started. So I was 22. I don't want to mention names. I don't want to make things anything personal. I was working in recruitment, and I had an argument with my boss. And I was like, actually, stuff you. I literally resigned, and the next day started my own company. And I'm not exaggerating. I quite literally started my company. I didn't have a name, I had nothing registered, I had no idea how I was going to do it. And that goes to my first lesson, is that don't make emotional decisions. So I think it sounds pretty obvious to have a business plan and a strategy, but I mean, I don't want to be biased, but I think women can sometimes be a little bit more emotional and go, yeah. So think about starting a business before you actually do it. Anyway, so my first business was IT source personnel. I was 22. We obviously did IT source personnel. I was doing 360 recruitment, marketing, finance, admin. I need to get to the finance part quickly. Just a personal story. So when I was 21, my parents had given me a lump sum of money, of which 80% I had to give back to them because I'd loaned money from them. So this is the start of my budgeting. And at that stage, I should have known I shouldn't have the finance division of any business. That lesson still isn't learned. You can ask my husband. But when you're starting a business, please ensure the person that is in charge of your finance knows how to budget. Even more personal story. It's very embarrassing, but I was asked not to take maths in high school, so the school could have 100% pass rate, and that is not a word of a lie. So, yeah. Okay, so now I am 22, got my business, finance is not looking great, but business is great. I'd come from corporate, and corporate had drilled into me KPIs. This number of calls, CV sent, interviews, and I stuck to my numbers, and the business had grown fantastically, but I was reaching burnout, and I actually just didn't know what to do. And I had found a website of an agency in Johannesburg, beautiful website, but I'm not exaggerating. I contacted them, and I had asked them if I could open their Cape Town division. Now, I wish I could have firecrackers go off here, because this was a really hard lesson. Can I swear? Sign a fucking contract. So throw sweets. I had met these people that I loved. We'd connected. We were soulmates. Everything was fantastic. They were like, okay, hand over your clients, hand over your candidates. Here is Cape Town. Let's set it up. And within a year, they offered me 5% of my business. Yeah, that was a really, really tough pill to swallow. And from that, I'm only 25 at this stage, so I am still very emotional. And I had reached out to an external resource, don't want to go into much details, and they had said to me, this company is doing dodgy dealings. And walking straight into the hardest lesson, they're all really hard lessons, but I had walked back into my office and I had told my team. I told my team everything that this consultant said, and I was like, of course they have my back. I've hired them, we've worked together for years, we're friends, we love each other, we're all the same age, amazing. But that's not what happened, and someone did tell the people, and they fired me. So they fired me. There obviously isn't a proper case here. But it was a heart sore to lose my business and for employees that I thought really were my best friends to stab me in the back. And the more I reflect on this, did they stab me in the back? Like they also, need to tell the big boss I'm talking out. So I definitely was in the wrong. I take full accountability for that. Long story short, we did go to CCMA. I did win the case. A couple of years later, they did close, apparently due to dodgy dealings, and end of that chapter. But that was really hard. And then that led me to my third agency. So somebody had heard, now I'm going to start New Beginnings, and I even had the Entrepreneur magazine contact me if I'd write an article on how to fail. So I was feeling really great. I tell you, my ego was like, wow. So quite ironic that I'm here sharing all my failures with you. And then something and I'm so happy that we have a lot of people who are solopreneurs and just starting out, because I think this is so relevant for you. What I want to say is, if a bank is not going to give you money to start a business, I feel like it's the universe's sign to say, don't start the business. What I had done was I had taken money from my parents, which 15 years later I'm still paying off, and very honestly I still am. I can show you my dad's bond. And if it was the bank's money, I could have liquidated and I could have walked away. And I'm very fortunate that I have a good relationship with my parents now. I love them, and it hasn't ruined our family. But I think a lot of people who go into business with family, especially when money's involved, it doesn't end nice. So I would question twice going into business with family, and I would 100% not advocate taking family's money, ever. Alas, I then started New Beginnings with 3 months cash flow. We got a little bit of an office, and I'd hired 4 graduates. So I've got 4 graduates and me. I've got 3 months cash flow, and it's tight. It's really tight. What I would have done, if I could change it, I would have hired a senior consultant. So I think sometimes your ego gets in a bit of a way. You want a nice office, you want staff, you want people calling out. And in actual fact, I probably would have billed triple with me and the senior consultant doing the work. So now I've training 4 graduates. I'm doing the work. We're barely making target. We're barely covering costs. 1 month we're doing marketing. 1 month we're doing IT. 1 month we're doing this one. I'm swapping and I'm changing, but out of sheer panic because I'm not making target. And I 100% believe in, if it's not working, change it. But you need to give yourself time. You need to be realistic with, what your deadline is. It's not, if you don't make target by month 1, make a beeline for it. So on top of having graduates who don't know recruitment, shame these poor ladies were like, their heads were spinning. They thought I was off my rocket mad, which I probably was. So New Beginnings was a really tough start. But we went in for a really great 10 years. I say really great, so confidently, yet I'm still paying my parents off. So the first 8 years were fantastic. And then I don't know if anyone remembers, so COVID's 2020, 2018, I don't know what happened, but the shit hit the fan. And 2018 was a tough year, and we just never, ever recovered from that. And I think it's really important as a business owner also to know when to shut your doors. If I was brave enough in 2018 to accept defeat, I wouldn't have all this money to be paying off. And I think I also burnt quite a few bridges, again, out of desperation, pushing, maybe not doing business as the best leader, but because we're not doing well. Like, you do funny things when you're not making targets. So I'm not going to go through the whole 10 years. I've sat back and reflected, and these are just the main things that I want to share with you that's happened with New Beginnings. The one lesson I've never learned, and I've brought it up previously, and I don't have the answer for you, but employees aren't your friends. And I don't know. Some people are born with it. Some people are born with this leadership quality that they can make you feel so special, but you're still kind of scared, and you need to make it. I couldn't do that. Everyone was my best friend, and I loved you. And if you didn't make a placement for a year, it's fine because we really get on well. And I did have consultants with me for a year who didn't make placements, honestly. And it's harder to let them go because we're having sleepovers and we're partying together. Not a word of a lie. Okay, so if I had to redo it all, I definitely would have a stronger boundary of I'm paying your salary and, how we're working. Okay, I just want to do this in proper order because I've got a really good ending for you. So I just want to make sure that I've got this right. Yes, okay. So the other thing that I let slip was KPIs. And I think for recruiters, this is a really tough one because we're told not to spam CVs, don't spam call clients. I don't know how you must get clients now. Back in my day, it was like 50 calls a day, send out 10 CVs, and I'm sure that has changed. But your first 10 years of your business is just KPIs. Your recruiters need to build a network. They need to have clients who are going to come to them, but they need the 10 years to build that relationship. And I think where agencies fall short is you either wing it or you have one or two clients and you ride on it, and it's not going to work. I promise you, I've done it a million times and I failed every time. You just have to have the numbers. What the KPIs are, I don't have the answer for that. But at our next meetup, maybe someone can share. And I also want to say that recruitment is a long game. So the first 10 years are tough. Like, you've got to build the client relationships, you've got to build your candidate database, and then eventually the clients will start contacting you, and you don't need to do cold calling, and then you'll be known in the industry. So I just want to share a story. Not to be a fig jam. I don't know if you know what a fig jam is. A fig jam is, fuck, I'm great, just ask me. Okay? But I'm not, but I have to tell you the story. And a lot of young recruiters get this wrong. So in December, there's a Java Meetup group, and they were going to lose their community leader. Huge on their Meetup group is no recruiters, no headhunters, no HR. If you are anyone that wants to look for an employee, you're not to come here. And then I earned it. I took the Meetup, I took the cost, and I was like, hi, so you've lost your community leader. I don't want to hire any of you, but I'm going to manage your community for you. And everyone was A-okay. Since then, I've met with the Java leader from Amsterdam. I've met with head of Microsoft people to connect for meetups. I've met with Java meetup groups from the UK. And everyone is good, but I'm not infiltrating the industry and trying to headhunt anyone. And this is where recruiters always get it wrong. We go to DevConf, we go to these events, and then we sit there with our board and we try and get everyone's name and we try and email them, and that's not how we do it. But I digress. My point is, it is a long game. If I had done that in my 20s, they would have told me to footsack. But because I've been around long enough, I think people know I'm not going to headhunt, go crazy. It's my assumption. And now I'm building my network in my industry. So if at any stage you're thinking of quitting or stopping, make sure you've hit your 10-year mark, and then you can reassess that. Then I want to talk a little bit personal just on that note of wanting to know when to quit and how you're feeling. And again, not a word of a lie, in my 20s and early 30s, I was in between psychiatrists, psychologists. I was diagnosed with ADHD, bipolar, anxiety disorder, depressive disorder. And new beginnings went. I became a solopreneur, and I'm perfect. I don't have to take any medication. I don't have panic attacks. I obviously get anxious like everyone does, but I don't have anything. And your business can make you sick. Sorry, and I know this is quite personal, but we also don't talk about it. I think we're battling so much with insomnia, but a lot of the time it's your business. And not everyone's built to be an entrepreneur. I'm not built to be an entrepreneur. I do not want to ever manage staff. I'll manage staff with your money. That's fine, and that I can do. But not my money, ever. So I also think it's good to maybe just take a few steps back and reflect, on your mental health and how you're feeling. Because business can make you so sick. And then I just want to tell you a story about that as well. I'm sure you would assume by now I love spending. I have a money issue. COVID, Christmas, everything had closed. New Beginnings had closed. I didn't have much money. We weren't recruiting much. And it was the best Christmas to date because I didn't have to pay anyone. And I didn't have to stress about 20 employees' families and do they have enough money for presents and are they going to be okay? And at that moment, I was like, I know that this wasn't right for me, that this kind of stress isn't working. So not to harp on about it, but just reflect and just see if you should be an entrepreneur. I don't think all of us are born to be entrepreneurs. Just quickly on the finance side, and I'm sure everyone does know this, but please don't take out loans to pay increases and bonuses. I did that, obviously, because everyone's my friend and I love them and I'm still paying it off, but it's not great advice. If I always thought, okay, I'm going to do increases, I'm going to do bonuses because next year is going to be better. We know, we have no idea what next year is going to hold. So if you don't have money in the bank, don't do it. Don't spend it. This might not be something that everyone agrees with, but I don't think recruitment can be taught. So you can give someone a script, and you can give them KPIs, and you can tell them how to do the job. But you need to have thick skin because there's so much rejection. You need to have this empathy for candidates. Those candidates have really crappy CVs, but you need to hear their story, and you need to share them with your client. You need to be strong with your clients and, know where your line is. And I keep thinking, it just sounds like a psychopath. It sounds like somebody who's really demented does this. And I stick with it. Like, you can't teach these skills. This is something that you're born with. And reflecting back on consultants that I've hired, I could see immediately in the first week if someone was going to make it or not. And I know you've got a soft heart and be like, okay, we're going to sit down with you and we're going to teach you how to call. We're going to teach you how to... I will put my money on it. If you're not getting it immediately, you're not going to get it. This sounds terrible. Like when I say cut your losses with people that don't bill, but essentially that is our job. I know we need to form relationships unless you've got a father who doesn't want you to pay money back. Consultants really do need to bill. That is pretty important. And then the importance of relationships. I think when I had a big team and there's consultants who maybe didn't want to be there or didn't belong, I had a lot of client relationships that bunged out and I had to fix. And probably clients that still don't speak to me because you've got people who don't believe in your business. In the same breath with candidates, like you need to know which candidates like you have a bond with. I need to tell you a story about Ewald, the only developer in the room. What a sucker. But he's a very interesting story, and I'm so grateful that he came. Ewald, I met in my first year of recruitment in 2005. He was probably the third or fourth offer that I ever got from a client, and he didn't accept it. And I've never, ever placed him. And I actually don't think I've done anything for his career. No. Fuck all. Absolutely nothing. I've introduced you to no one. But he has spoken at our conference last year, and absolutely nothing taken away from the other speakers. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. He has introduced me to developers that I've placed. He's spoken to people in networks where he's got me into, and all because we fostered a relationship of a candidate that I haven't placed.
Pity.
Yeah. It's pity. But we got time. We've got another 20 years. So keep your candidates close. I know it's hard work. I know we've got our own lives, but just add these people on WhatsApp, Keep your relationship, because relationships what our business is made of. And we so often forget that. We speak to hundreds of people a month. And it would be interesting to know how many names you could remember at the end of the month. So I would stress that. And then lastly, before we have a really good conversation, is recruiters can connect and we can talk. So I work in and out of Justin's company because I'm really passionate about recruitment. I thought this business segment would boost even faster was recruitment websites and social media because it's needed so much. But along the way, we met with Skillsmith. We are actually Skillsmiths. We are direct competition. We both do IT recruitment. We sit down. They share with me their secrets. I tell them my secrets. There's no secrets in our industry, just FYI. We talk about business. I look over their social media accounts and create it, and we work together, and we're both succeeding. Like, but we can be friends. It's so odd. This is the only industry in the world that doesn't connect. And we don't share. And we don't. I promise you there are no big secrets. It really is your personality, who you meet, and it's your connections. It's absolutely important for all of us to become friends because we never know when we're going to need the other person. And I know that also doesn't sound nice. You don't want to be friends to want something from them, but our business could thrive off each other. And that is my story of my 3 failures of companies. I am now a solopreneur. Dan and I worked many years together, really successfully. And you can do it too. You can also do placements together. Dan and I made bucket loads of money. We did really well. And we were from 2 essentially different companies. So you can connect and things can work. In the same token, just be careful who you partner with. There's some funny people out there as well. Then I just and please do stay afterwards. Please do ask questions. Please do connect and talk. We are in the space. Another half an hour for you just to learn more and to share with each other. It's still light outside. You'll be fine. And then what I want to just share with you quickly, we're going to do this again on the 29th of May. But this time, it's going to be lightning talks. So it's going to be, I want 10 speakers who are going to share 5 minutes of knowledge with us. So please put your hand up to do it. You don't have to do it now, but please email me. We have so much to share. And I think to hear from people from different industries and different lessons, obviously I'll hear it out, so it's not all the same thing. And I think it would be another good opportunity for us to network and meet and learn from each other.
The world of work has changed, but some things stay the same. Talent remains a key factor in our customers' success. When it comes to finding the right person for the right job at the right time, look no further than PNet. As a leading online recruitment platform, we deliver over 2.5 million job applications every month. By combining our world-class matching technology with over 25 years industry experience, we provide smart insights that result in even smarter recruitment to drive measurable results for our clients. Our customers also get instant access to our database of 3 million searchable CVs to headhunt quality talent. P is for partnership, and PNet is here to help you navigate your recruitment challenges. PNet, connections that work.